The screen of the phone cast a pale, sickly blue light across Evelyn's face.
He's inside. He's actually inside.
She sat on the floor of her bedroom closet, her knees pulled tight to her chest. On her phone, the live security feed showed her own living room in stark black and white infrared. A figure stood perfectly still by the front door. He didn't look around. He didn't search for valuables. He walked directly to the security keypad on the wall. He reached out and typed 4 numbers. The small red armed light on her screen turned green.
He knows the code. How does he know the code?
The figure turned slowly, looking directly up at the camera mounted in the corner. He smiled. What investigators would later piece together began exactly 3 weeks earlier. Evelyn had moved to the quiet suburban street of Elmwood Drive to establish a routine. Routine was safe. Routine was predictable.
Wake up at 6, coffee with 2 splashes of oat milk, check emails, jog at 7.
She had done it a dozen times since moving in. It was the kind of thing nobody thought twice about. On her 4th day in the house, she met her neighbor, Mark.
"Welcome to the neighborhood. I noticed your recycling bin blew over in the wind. I went ahead and picked it up for you."
Oh, thank you. I'm Evelyn.
"Mark, I live right next door. Let me know if you ever need anything. This is a quiet street, but it pays to look out for each other."
He was, by every account, a normal person. He wore neat polo shirts, kept his lawn manicured, and always waved when she left for her morning runs. But small things began to happen. The kind of things you explain away at the time.
The mail was stacked neatly on the table. Did I leave it like that? I must have.
A week later, her ex-boyfriend, David, started calling again. He left 3 voicemails in 2 days. "Evelyn, please just call me back. I know where you moved. I just want to talk."
He's just trying to scare me. I'm probably overreacting.
But the calls made her anxious. When Mark saw her struggling with a jammed window latch one afternoon, he offered to help. "You know, there was a break-in a few streets over last month. If you want, I have a spare security camera system. I bought a 2-pack and only used 1. I could help you set it up."
Are you sure? That's really generous.
"It's no trouble at all. I'll even help you mount them. Peace of mind is important." She made a decision that seemed reasonable at the time. She said yes. Mark spent 2 hours drilling mounts in her living room and hallway. He even helped her set the master passcode on the keypad.
I feel so much better. It's nice to have someone looking out for me.
2 days later, Evelyn went down to the unfinished basement to store some empty moving boxes. The floor was dusty concrete with a strange, patched square in the center. As she pushed a box onto a high shelf between the exposed wooden ceiling joists, her hand brushed against something small and plastic.
What is this?
She pulled down a small black plastic case. Inside were 3 micro SD cards.
The previous owners must have left them. Or the tenants before that.
Curiosity got the better of her. She took them upstairs, slid the first card into her laptop, and opened the files. The videos were shaky, handheld. They were taken at night, from outside a house, looking through a window.
This is creepy. Is this some kind of art project?
The footage showed a woman walking through her kitchen. The camera zoomed in as she poured coffee. Evelyn's stomach dropped. She told herself it was nothing, but she opened the second video. It was shot from inside a car. The camera followed a woman jogging down a suburban street in the early morning mist.
Wait, that street sign. That's Elmwood Drive.
She clicked the third video. The timestamp in the corner read October 14th. Yesterday. The video didn't start outside. It started in the dark. The camera was stationary, looking through a narrow, slatted opening. The night vision clicked on, illuminating a bedroom.
That's
That's my bed.
The video showed Evelyn sleeping. The camera wasn't moving. It was mounted. She had noticed it. She just hadn't known what it meant.
The air vent. The one above the closet. She looked up from her laptop. The vent cover in her bedroom was secured with 4 screws, but the bottom left screw was slightly stripped. Every piece had been there. None of it had seemed connected. Mark hadn't offered the cameras to protect her. He had offered them so he could connect them to his own network. He knew her alarm code because he had watched her type it in. He knew I drank oat milk. He brought me coffee on Tuesday with oat milk. I never told him that. She grabbed her phone and ran to the closet, locking the door behind her. She opened the security app Mark had helped her install. That was when she saw him on the live feed, standing in her living room, smiling at the camera. Evelyn didn't scream. She dialed 911 and pressed the phone tight against her ear, barely breathing.
Police arrived 7 minutes later. They found Mark sitting on Evelyn's couch, waiting patiently. I was just checking on her. The door was unlocked. Investigators searched Mark's home the next day. They found keys to 14 different houses in the neighborhood. They found hard drives containing thousands of hours of footage. He was convicted of felony stalking and breaking and entering. He was sentenced to 4 years in state prison. Because it was a non-violent offense, he was released on parole after 22 months. Evelyn had already moved to a different city by then. She lives in a high-rise apartment now. She still checks her locks twice before bed. She still checks the air vents, too. She doesn't know who unscrewed the one in her new bedroom.